Hey there, everybody. Grant here again. So, people ask me, Grant, you've got a lot of different ways you make passive income, and they want to know what it is that I specifically do. And I do have a lot of different strategies and methods, and I want to come up with a couple of different videos here to walk you through some of them. The first one I want to talk about is options trading, which has to do with the stock market. Now, this is actually a concept that I'm working on putting a course together for to teach people how exactly I do this. It's a little ways out yet, but if you're interested in that, you want some updates, make sure you click the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notifications. So as that gets closer, you can be ready. But when it comes to the stock market, a lot of people are under this misconception that the only way to make money in the stock market is you buy a stock low and you sell high. And don't get me wrong, there's obviously a lot of truth to that, but it's more than you buy an Apple stock for $200 and you wait till it goes to 210 and you sell for a variety of different reasons. One, stocks are really meant to be a long-term investment, especially because they're meant to continually grow small amounts over time, but grow, 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 grow. Also, that you've got things like dividends and whatnot, and again, those pay out over a long period of time. People don't understand that there are other ways to make money in the stock market that don't require that level of investment either. I mean, to make $200, you make 10. Well, if you want to make, let's say, $1,000, that means you have to buy 100 shares of Apple stock. And Apple stock at $200 a share, yeah, you can see how that gets expensive quickly. You end up spending a couple of $1,000s to make $100. And a lot of people don't have that kind of income. So I'm going to briefly talk about what options trading is. And maybe you've heard of situations where people make a lot of money when a stock goes down. I know that confused me for a while. I assumed that what they meant was the stock went down and they just bought a whole bunch of it. And that's not necessarily the case at all. See, with options trading, what you're doing is you're buying the right to purchase a stock at a preset price. Now, I'll go into more detail when I come out with my training video, but I'm going to use something really simple. Let's say Disney stock, for instance. And Disney stock is trading at, let's say, $100 a share. Now, there are two different kinds of options. There's what's called a call and a put. A call says, I think this stock is going to go up in value. A put says, I think this stock is going to go down in value. Now, let's say with a call, for instance, Disney's trading at $100 a share. I can buy the right to purchase that stock at $105 a share. And there's obviously many, many tiers and whatnot. We're just going to keep these numbers very, very simplistic. And that stock might cost me, let's say, 80 cents a share. Now, you have to buy them in what's called a contract. A contract is 100 shares of that stock. So basically, what that means in this instance is if I wanted to buy 100 shares of Disney stock at $100 a share, that's $10,000. Now, what this says is that by spending 80 cents a share, now I'm still buying 100 shares, so in this particular case, it's $800 instead of $10,000. I have the right to purchase that stock for $105. Now, some of you are thinking, hey, just wait a second, Grant. It's trading at 100. Why would you want the right to be able to buy it at 105? Well, that basically says because I bought a call, I think the stock is going to go up. So let's say that stock jumps up to $110 a share. Okay? Now, I can exercise or I can use that call, meaning I have the right to buy it at 105. Now, I actually don't have to buy the stock at $105. I can just sell the contract, so no money comes out of my pocket. But now I'm technically on paper, it looks like I'm buying 100 shares for $105 and then selling it for $110. So I just made $500 because that stock went above and beyond where I was expecting it to. I know this might sound complicated, but I've broken it down to a whole set of systems on how to do this. And that's part of this training. So now, instead of me buying 100 shares of Disney stock at $100, it cost me $10,000. And if it went up to $110, well, fantastic. Now that's worth $1,000. I made it 10%. But by doing what's a call option, instead of spending $10,000, I spent $800, and I sold, and basically I would have gotten my $800 back plus an extra $500. So I paid $800 and I got $1,300 as opposed to spending $10,000 and getting $1,000. Now, if that stock continues to grow, the beautiful thing is at that point, every penny that stock goes up, I make $1. So if that stock goes up to, instead of $8 to $9, instead of a $500 profit, then I make $600 profit, and so on and so forth. And that's how you can get quick returns in a short period of time. Now let's look at that quickly from the other side of this, is a put option. Let's use Disney stock for a second. A put says, I have the right to sell this stock, even if I don't own it, for a preset dollar amount. Let's go the exact same thing and say Disney's trading at $100 a share. I have the right to sell it for $97 a share. Now, again, at first glance, people would say, Grant, you're losing $3 a share. So let's say if I buy 5 contracts, that's the equivalent to 500 shares. They're like, you first thought you'd lose $1,500. But again, I'm just buying the right. So in this instance, let's say it cost me 75 cents a share. So each contract is going to cost me, in this case, $750. So a little bit bigger of an investment in this case. And of course, I could just buy one, but we're going to say 5 hypothetically. So now I'm $3,750. $3,750 is what I'm in this for. Now let's say Disney drops from $100 a share to $90 a share. Well, I have the right to sell for $97 a share, and I have 500 shares. So that means I can sell, and for every dollar that it's gone below my price of 97, I'm gonna make $500 because I bought 5 contracts. So I spent $37.50. I'd get that money back. In addition, I would get $3,500 because $7 down. You following me here? And that's how I can make money, because what I've done is I've bought the right to sell a stock. Even though I technically don't own the stock, this contract says I have the right to sell it. So I could theoretically, no money actually comes out of my account, but I can buy it for 90 and sell it for 97 at that particular instance. So that's one of the ways that I make money through options trading. And there are free resources that I have. There are paid ones as well, but I almost solely use free resources. And there are certain indicators that when stocks cross certain thresholds, certain lines, and there's websites you can go to see all this stuff, means you've got a pretty high percentage of the stock is either going to go up or down or value. So when I see that and I can see it crosses certain indicators, I'm like, this stock is going to go up in value. I can buy a call option. And it might go up in value over the course of a week. It might go up over the course of value over the course of a day. I have made literally doubled my money in a day. It's not uncommon that I might take me 2 or 3 weeks to make 30-40%, but on a few $1,000s, that's pretty easy money. Again, there's so many ways to do this that people just don't necessarily know and understand. And when I come up with this options trading course, I'm going to show people how exactly to do this. Even if you have no stock knowledge, just does it cross these indicators? Do these numbers line up? Literally anybody can do this. And then the free resources, because there are brokerages that'll charge you. I use a free one for that as well. But that's one of the ways that I make some of my passive income, because I can hop on in the mornings, I can run a couple of numbers, check some stuff, see what things are doing in the market, and if I see a shift is going to happen, I click, I buy, or sell, and you can easily, if you can get a little bit of money to put into it at first, you can start turning a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 even a week for a few hours worth of your time. So that's one of the ways that I make money, and I know that sounds a little complicated, but once it's directly in front of you and you can actually go through and do this yourself, it makes a lot more sense. That's why I'm creating this course, because I believe it's a great way for people to make money. Now, there is obviously some risk in that, because something can look like it's going to go one direction and go another for a totally unforeseen reason. That happens. So there's part of that. But if you can take a couple hours out of your week to make a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, it's definitely something that's worth it. So if you're interested in that, make sure you click the subscribe button, so as I get closer to getting that course out there, that you can be aware of that. But I'm also going to be talking in some future videos about some of the other ways that I make some of my passive income, how I dabble in real estate without having to really put any money down for anything, how I create some online courses, some of the other different content that I've created. So I'm going to be coming out periodically with some of those different videos. I just wanted to give you a brief example of what I do in the stock market to make money in a short period of time. Now, I also invest and buy stocks for a longer period and whatnot as well, but options trading is the way to make a bigger return in a very short period of time. So if that interests you, make sure you like the video and make sure you pay attention, because there's going to be some additional videos, obviously, that are going to be coming out. Also, some products that I am looking at to see if they're a good money-making opportunity. And as those come out, you're going to want to check those out as well. So look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.